Hmm. Victimization by consent. Look, I can make this video a long one, but this one can be short because I believe you all will understand this very quickly. Victimization by consent. Look, I'm going to give one illustration now, followed by another one. And you tell me which one was right and which one is wrong. Let's say you're walking down the street and out of the blue, two men come after you. They're following you all the time. Then suddenly, they, before you know it, they are standing before you and they are handing you out a contract that basically gives them so-called the right to beat you, abuse you, to even murder you if you don't give in to the desires of the company they represent. Because that company has an issue with you, because that company wants you to act in a certain way, that company wants your money, that company wants you to buy their products. So now those men come to you with a contract that gives you a discount on the products of that company, but the contract also gives them the right to beat you and harass you every time you don't buy one of the stuff of the company. Okay, now let's move on to another illustration. You are in a high school, and some of the other pupils, they have issues, and now they decide that they can't deal with what's wrong with them, so now they have to displace their anger on someone else. And they decide that someone needs to be the scapegoat, someone needs to be blamed, and now they're picking on the smallest guy in the class, call him dirty names, treating him badly. And now, because the teachers aren't willing to deal with the issue, they are telling the bullied, the victim, that he needs to accept what's happening and just find a way to live with it, because they're not willing to deal with the issue. Okay, so you have one illustration in which some random guy on the street is being harassed to get involved in a contract with some company to buy the products. And another one, you have high school students, victimizing another pupil because they don't want to deal with the issues in their own lives. And now you have the teachers who are cowards, who don't want to take action against the abuses going on. And there's a third illustration. You might get more familiar with this. Let's say you have a woman who's sexualizing a man. That guy doesn't even know her. Now she approaches him and tells him that she wants to have sex with him. She wants him to take care of her. She wants him to buy her stuff. You see? But the guy says, no, I don't know you. I cannot just get involved with you without having known you. Then the woman says, if you don't do what I said, then I'll beat myself and I'll lie to the authorities that you've raped me, and I'll destroy your reputation, and you'll have to live with lifelong damage. Or let's do it the other way around. You have a guy approaching a girl and telling her that he wants to have sex with her, and that if she doesn't comply, that bad things will happen to her. So these are 4 illustrations. One about a company, basically a mafia, harassing people to become customers. The second is in high school, where both teachers and students are agents in abuse. The third one is a psychopathic woman, threatening a man to give in to her desires. And the fourth is a man trying to coerce a woman into a sexual relationship with him. Now, tell me which one of these, illustrations is right. In which is it right that someone is being abused? I hope you say none, okay, because all 4 are examples of extreme abuse. Okay? In each four of the circumstances, we would agree that it's abuse what's going on. Okay, well now let's look at another illustration now. You have a parent who has children, and the children, are noisy, because that's what children are. Now the parent just wants to have peace and calm in the house, wants to have control, and now he or she is emotionally harassing the child, calling the child bad names, just to make the child shut up so they can enjoy peace in the house. Now, first of all, if you didn't want to have noise in the house, then you shouldn't have a kid. Okay? Because if you have another human being around, especially if they're a kid, you have to expect noise. But most people would say, well, the parent is right because he or she is the parent and you should obey your parents. Well, the parents are paying the rent of the house, so the child has to find a way to deal with the parents. No. Let's say now that the parent is throwing objects at the child because they are frustrated, and now they're blaming the child for what they are doing. Is it still right? I'm using this illustration of the home when parents abuse children because we encounter our first abuse most of the time at the hand of our parents or our siblings. And it's there that we need to recognize that it's abuse and it shouldn't happen. Yet most of us are being brainwashed by our families, by our friends, by our peers, by our schools, and by our governments, and by the media, that when certain people, use, black magic upon you, that it's it's nothing wrong, because that's supposed to be. That when certain people humiliate you, that when certain people dishonor you, that it's alright, they have a right to dishonor you. That's what the deception we are growing up with. When it's a woman, threatening a man to get sexually involved with her, we call it abuse. When it's a man doing it with a woman, we immediately call it abuse, and we immediately get a hatred of that guy. When it's a mafia trying to force people to become customers, we say it's wrong. If it is high school, when pupils and teachers together are agents in abuse, we call it wrong. Because then it's obvious. So why, in what we call the private sphere, do we allow people to use violence against us? Or better, why do we think that we have the right to use black magic upon others so that we can get what we want? You see? I'm serious, people, just think about it. Why do we all continue to make excuses when it's our interest that's at stake? You see? Why is it that it's wrong when someone else is talking behind your back, but when it's you talking negatively about someone else to, destroy their reputation, then it's alright because you have your reasons for doing it? Why is it okay when, certain men who have uniforms, use excessive violence against an individual to arrest them? We call them police officers, but I call them just human beings with a uniform because that's what they are. Why do we condone those people doing it? While when someone dressed as a jihadist begins to do the same thing, we say, oh, this is wrong. Why, when a serial killer kills and rapes and kills women, or when he rapes and kills boys, or anyway he has murdered human beings, why when a serial killer does that we say he needs to get the death penalty, it shouldn't exist, yet when someone in a uniform that we call soldiers go to for encounters and kill people, come back to our heroes? Why are we living with victimization by consent? Why do we give consent and agreement to others victimizing us? Because that's where it begins. We give permission, and we give permission that we shouldn't give to certain people to victimize us. This starts with our parents. This continues in school. into college, and also into what we call the community, with police officers, with governments. Why do we give others the permission to violate, harass us, and harass us? And why aren't we honest and real by admitting that yes, they are wrong, but we are wrong too by approving what they're doing? Because that's what you're doing. When you give consent to an organization or a group to use violence against you, you are promoting evil. And by you not standing up and making an objective boundary that this shouldn't happen, you are in spreading evil on earth. Because listen, humans learn by imitation. When a child sees that you are allowing someone to abuse you, that child will grow up with the idea that it's alright to abuse someone if you're frustrated, if you don't get what you want. You see, and many people were abused by their parents emotionally and physically. Now that they have children, they do the same. And they use the excuse, well, I went through it too. No, that's not right. Listen, and I seriously want people to answer me this. Why do we give consent to others to dehumanize us? Nobody has a right to dehumanize you. If you're dangerous and you're the evil one, then yes, people have a right to stay away from you, and people have a right to tell the truth about you, about how negative you are. And yes, and that has consequences for you. Okay, that's your problem because you're the negative one. So I'm not saying that human beings should always, smile with each other regardless of what's going on, and avoid the reality of what's going on. I'm not saying that. However, even if someone's completely negative, you still shouldn't dehumanize them because it has a negative impact upon you. And that will grow. So it's illogical. Yet, why are we doing it? And yes, I do repeat myself often because that's how humans learn, by repetition. You see, abusive relationships don't just come out of thin air. Abusive relationships are relationships in which abuse has occurred multiple times, and also the consent of the victim to the abuse has occurred multiple times. So by repetition, a habit is created, and the habit becomes a stronghold after a while. And people begin to see it as natural, as something as it should be. No, it's not. So I'm not going to apologize for repeating myself, because I want you to think very clearly about this. Why do you give others permission to dehumanize you? And why do you think that just because you have been dehumanized, that now that you are in a circumstance where you have the upper hand, that you have a right to dehumanize someone else? Because that's what it really is. Abusers often will use the excuse, I've been dehumanized. 2. Most people have been dehumanized. So who are you? They use this, this argument that doesn't make any sense to justify their abuse. Folks, I don't do that. Corporal punishment upon children is evil. I've been through it, and I don't agree with it. You see? Even if it's your family that does it, so-called for your own good, I still don't agree with it. It's wrong. Public servants, whether they're police officers or neighborhood guards and everything, they have no right to dehumanize you under any circumstance. No, they don't. When someone tries to break into your house, okay, yeah, you can avoid the danger circumstance by keeping them out or fleeing, but you have no right to dehumanize them just because they entered your property. You're not God. Self-defense is no excuse for dehumanizing someone. And be careful what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that you should be lovely and comfortable all the time towards all human beings. No, you shouldn't. If a group of people are narcissistic, you should call them out for what they are, narcissistic and abusive, and you don't agree with it. If people are scum, then that's what they are, scum. If people are stupid and they choose to do evil towards you and always blame others, then when you tell them the reality and hurt is true. You're not saying reality to hurt them, you're saying it for being objective. Okay? But the culture in which we live is a culture of denial. And I'm going to talk about that in my next video. But also solve this question, why? I'm talking to victims now. Why are you giving consent to people that abuse you?